AWS CodePipeline practical demo with .NET Core application. Welcome to Coding Book, guys. This is Shankashwaryani, and this is the last part in what we will demonstrate exactly code pipeline, the build pipeline and the release pipeline. So now let's quickly see what we have already covered. So at first, in the part 1, we have seen what exactly our requirement is. In the part 2, basically we have created our .NET Core application and we have deployed this to Elastic Beanstalk, and that was the manual step. After that, in the part 3, we have pushed our code to this AWS code commit. So the AWS code commit is now serving or acting as a repository for this application. Also, as I mentioned, that I will make sure that we do the practical use case of the build pipeline, and that's why we have created one unit test case project as well. And now in this example, we will create the actual build pipeline and see how we can get the solution of that problem which we encountered in the last part. Now I would highly recommend, guys, if you have not seen those videos, and if you are doing or if you want to do step by step, just go and watch those videos. They're really quick videos and the link is shared in the YouTube description. Okay, and if you are already following, you must be familiar that this is our Elastic Beanstalk environment where we have deployed our application. This was our Visual Studio 2019 microservice application which we created. This was a test project which we added, and yeah, pretty cool. Now let's begin, and to begin with, click on the services and search for the code build. Okay, and press enter. Okay, now click on this create build project. Let it load. Now provide the project name. So maybe we can provide we have order, I think, project order API build project demo 1. Then provide the source, right? We have created the code commit, so go for this code commit, which branch or which repository. This is the repository which we created, and then which branch, the master one. We always create a build from the master branch, that is recommended. Then which image, Ubuntu, which runtime standard actually option, and then this is the 4.0 and use the latest one. Build spec file, we will see what that build spec file. If you provide or keep to this different location, then provide the path here, otherwise keep it empty, so it will pick from the root folder. Artifacts, so either you can download the artifacts to the S3 location, and then in the deployment step you can provide that location. Hey, you need to pick the artifacts from here. Otherwise you can keep it no artifacts, and that will be now created. Those artifacts will be created in the S3 buckets automatically. What are artifacts is basically when you publish your application, .NET application, and you have whatever files, so that is what we call the artifacts, and that is something through which your data or application gets deployed to Elastic Beanstalk. So I'm going with no artifacts and leave everything by default. Now click on create build project. What it will do, it will create the build project and run itself. So let it first create. Okay, now click on the start build. So see, at first I'm doing manually clicking on the start build. After that, we will make this automate. So which project? This one, single build. What is the source? The same repository of AWS commit and from the master branch. You can switch anytime, but we never do this. We always go with the master one. Now click on the start build. So it will run for a couple of minutes, and after that this build will get fail. Yes, that will get fail. I wanted to show you something, that's why I am not skipping that step. First let it fail, and we'll focus why it is failed and what changes we should do in our application in order to successfully run this script. Let me pause for a minute. Okay, we have the build failure which was expected. Now click on the phase details. Here you can see the exact error, sorry. YAML file does not exist. What is this YAML file? What is this error? To understand this, let's switch to our application, or rather to our folder. And let me quickly take two files, and we will now understand what these files. It's it here. Okay, so the YAML file, the error what we have is talking about this file. Now what is this file? If you remember my previous video, the part second, in what in detail I have explained how we deploy our application to Elastic Beanstalk to this environment actually. So what it does, at first it look for the this application, manifest application. Remember one thing, while I pasting or providing the reference of these files, I have pasted at the location where I have this git. So this is the root location, and I said that at first Elastic Beanstalk would look for this main manifest file, so it should always be at your root location. Now let me open the YAML file and see what it says. So it says .NET 3.1. Since we are at the .NET 3.1 application, the important thing or important lines are these three lines, rather these two lines. And what are these lines? It is saying .NET test. So first it is saying that you should run a task. I said build pipeline is a collection of tasks, whatever task you want to run to in your application, you can write down here. So what it first says, .NET test, that means you need to run all the test case, and if any of the test case is getting failed, you should fail the build. And after that, publish the application. If the test cases are successfully run, if the test case are successfully run, then publish this .NET application to this newly created folder build output. So you can name it anything, build output. And from where actually I run these commands. So I am at the root location, that is my root location. Go to product API and find this CS proj. So I have provided the path product API and CS proj. Similarly for the test project, .NET test is the command, and where is the path? Product dot test, and here is the CS proj file, right? So path is and the location is quite important. And after that, these are the artifacts. I said in the artifacts while we were creating the build pipeline, so you said that I will make use of the default one. That means it will create these artifacts in the build output folder of S3 bucket. And what it will keep? Everything. The star indicates everything. Whatever artifacts are generated after running those commands, it will put into the build output folder. Even let's see this, or one by one. So the first command is .NET test. So copy the command, go to your CMD and paste this command here, this location. I think I have pasted twice. Let me remove and paste it once. Okay, now press enter. It will search for the csproj path. If the path is correct, it would run the test cases. And let's come back to our application. We have the AWS tutorial with coding book, and we have simple one test case AWS tutorial with coding book. So eventually it should successfully run the test case. Let's wait. See, we have successful run of a test case. Maybe if you want to fail, let's suppose update this and run the command. Now it should fail our test case. We are just verifying our commands so that these commands work perfectly fine on the server as well, where we have where we are actually creating our build project. So let it run once again. Okay, now we have the failure what we expected. Let's correct the code. Okay, now what is the next command? Next command is .NET publish. And what I said, so I'm running these commands just to verify that it works fine when they actually run on the build project. So open a project one more time and press enter. So it will publish our application in release mode, and it will create build underscore output folder, and all the published code, all the artifacts will be pasted to that location. So let it create. Okay, done. Let's see, do we have the folder? Yes, we have the folder. Perfect. That means the YAML file commands, whatever we have written, are fine. What next is? Next is AWS Windows Deployment Manifest JSON. We are saying that you create two folders. One is the build output folder, in what you keep or you paste everything, these things, and at the root location you create this file. And now let me open this file as well. So what we have in that file? Okay, it says the name of your you can name it anything here, so it doesn't matter. Then it says this is the location dot and the slash build output. Look for this folder, and whatever you have in this folder, you just make use of this and deploy your application, right? So that's why we need to keep these two files and make sure these two files are at your root location. And once you have added these two files, come back to your Visual Studio. In the Teams Explorer homepage, click on changes and push your code to AWS commit. Okay, we have this build output. We do not need this. We have run those commands just to make sure that these are working fine, but we do not need to commit that. Okay, now updated, or I can say edit YAML file to fix build error. I'm going to commit. Click on sync. You know the next. Click on push. So this one change will get pushed. Let's wait until it successfully push our code to code commit repo. Okay, I think we have successful push. Then click on the retry build. See, right now we are the third step, build project. So we manually need to click on this retry build. Once we will work on the final step, the pipeline. Thereafter, we do not need to click on the retry build. As soon as we commit anything, this would run automatically. So again, it is in the progress and it will take a few minutes. I'm going to pause the video, and after that I'll resume, and this time we are expecting to run this successfully. Perfect. The build is now succeeded, right? We can see all the steps, or maybe in the phase detail, everything was perfect. Now what is next? Next is the main step. Now click on the pipeline. Click on the pipeline again. Then click on the create pipeline. Let's give a name, a meaningful name, maybe like product pipeline demo 1. Service role, you can choose the new service role, advanced setting. So it says which location you do want to download. Once we complete this tab, we will see the exact location in S3 where this downloads. So I'm going for the default location. So in your region, whatever region you have selected, based on, see, S3 buckets are global, that is not region specific. So you will see all the buckets when we will move to the S3, and we will have to select the region at there, and we'll see where those are artifacts, right? So right now I'm going with the default location. Encryption key, let it default. Click on the next. So source provider, where this pipeline gets the data. So we have committed our code to AWS code commit. So provide the name, then it should ask for the repository, and this is our repository. Then it will ask for the branch name. We always choose the master one. Click the master one and change the CloudWatch and the code pipeline. I always choose this CloudWatch. So click on next. So source is ready. Next is build. So now you are at the main step, the build one. So AWS code build, I'll make use of this. Reason, Asia Pacific, right? Now project name is we just created just few minutes ago, right? Where we have successful build. So we have order API build project demo one, right? Click on it. After that, single build or the batch, we are going for the single build. Click on the next. So you have configured your build one. Now next is deploy one. So where do you want to deploy? I want to deploy to this elastic beanstalk. Remember, we already have this elastic beanstalk. What is the name? Production application demo. Let's maybe verify this. Let me open this tab. Maybe we can say duplicate. Actually, I have opened this in this tab. So you can see this was our elastic beanstalk environment. So the application name is this one. So I have given the application name, then the environment. Now click on the next. So just cross verify your changes, the pipeline settings, source provider, build one, and the deploy one. When everything looks fine to you, click on the create pipeline. Now it will create the build and release pipeline for you. Uh, let's wait, I think, for some time. I think it should redirect me. Yes. Okay. So we have a failure. So let's check why we have this failure. Just a sec. Okay, nothing to worry. It was just a role access permission issue, but actually it never a issue, right? So I am just creating so many applications, a dummy application. That's why it happens. So I just click on the retry button, and it actually fixed for me. So the source now gets successful. Now it is running the build application, and in the build one, basically it is running this build project which we have created. And in what we remember, we have the YAML file. We have added two commands: the run the test case command and publish the code. So it will run and publish our code. Once the code is published, then deployment will come into the picture and will take the code what build is generating. So in progress. Okay, build got succeeded. Now we are at the last step in the deployment. It will again take a minute. Let me pause. Congratulations, we have the successful deployment as well. So all we have the green tick. So now let's test one by one exactly what we committed at the beginning of this video. We have committed for the build pipeline. If any of the test case gets failed, then we should be informed and our build gets failed. Now let's verify this. So first of all, this is your test case. Oh, sorry, this is your order controller. This is your test case. Now I'm going to fail this test case fail by changing the text. Right. Okay. Now Team Explorer, what ideally your developer or you should do before you make commit. So you first rebuild your application. You will not see any error, right? Next, what you should do, let it build first. Let it build. It is still building. Okay. Next, what you should do, click on the run or test. But this is the problem. The practical scenario. Let's suppose our developer forgets to click on the run all test, and he just see we have the rebuild all succeed. So maybe I just go and push my code. And your manual reviewer may see this thing and ask a developer, to change this thing. But we are actually eliminating this manual effort. So let's suppose we push our code, updated code, right? And click on the commit road. And generally, even if I take it more real, so we do not update the test. The more mistakes we take, like we update our code, right? Update our code, and we actually forget to run our test, right? So now go to Team Explorer and commit all. Click on sync and click on push. Again, it will take a couple of seconds. Let it push. So the first thing will happen, it would automatically run our build pipeline. Go back to your build pipeline. See, I am not refreshing, I am not clicking on any of the retry button. Since we have the code pipeline in place, so automatically in couple of seconds the build should get started, and even we should have the notification of the build failure as well. Maybe we can cross this, maybe we can cross this. Okay, we have, see, this is in the progress. Now what is your expectation? It is running those commands, the test case, .NET run test cases, and it should fail, it should notify us. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. Perfect, we have the build failure. And if I click on the details, if I click on the execution detail and see what we have, click on the phase detail, we have error in the test project, right? Now let's go back to our pipeline once again. Click on the pipeline, we have the failure. Now if you press the F5 to your deployed application, you cannot see the updated text. We still have the previous text, although you have changed in the order controller, right? So the deployment is now stopped. So how to correct this? So we just correct our run test case, simply paste it here. Again, go to your Team Explorer, click on Home, click on Changes, Updated Test Case. Click on Commit All, click on Sync, click on Push. Now, once this code gets pushed to the your AWS code commit, our build pipeline again would start automatically. This time it would try to first run the test cases, and once the test cases are run successfully, it will deploy our code, and thereafter from the S3 bucket, the deployment script would take that code and deploy to this Elastic Beanstalk. Let's come back to this one, and again we will not click anything. It should start in a couple of seconds. Actually, it has started. So let it build once again. We have the successful build. Now it is deploying. That's in progress. Let's again wait for a couple of minutes, I think. Great. We have the successful deployment. Even it just took 30 seconds. Now let's refresh our URL by pressing F5. Now we should see the updated data. We have the updated data. Everything what we have decided, maybe we can look at it. What we discussed, build field demo, we have seen that automatic deployment, we have seen that S3 location. Maybe I can provide you look to that S3 location as well. So how this actually, from where it is getting the artifacts, go to your services, maybe here, and look for the S3 one, sorry, S3, and then click on S3. Perfect. Now as we know about S3, that it is a global, not region specific. That's why you can see all the S3 buckets against all the regions. So look for your S3 bucket. It should be in your region. My region is Mumbai, and against your pipeline, this is the pipeline. Okay, so this one is the, I think, pipeline. So click on the pipeline or this S3 bucket. Here you can see our product pipeline project, in what we have the build artifacts. Here we are. See, you can always download those, and you can see exact source code as well. Let it load. Okay, once you will actually download this, you would be able to see that exactly uh, where you have the source code. Click on download. Show in folder. Let's see exactly what code was, right? Similarly, if you download the build artifact, even that's important. So let me download and let me show you even. Click on build artifact. Click on the latest one. Click on the download. Show in folder. Maybe this is the same one. Here we are. Right, this is what I was saying. You should keep this on the root. It will first look for this application, this file, and based on that it will get the data from this. So that's all for this playlist and for the demo. I think we have covered everything. Even if you feel like, guys, if you like I have missed anything, then you can let me know. But what I want from you guys, please do let me know with your comments, and do subscribe this coding book. If you already know me, guys, if you already have following me from a couple of years, then you probably would be knowing that I was earlier running a different channel instead of coding book, that was Coding Friday. Due to some access issue, and that was quite unfortunate, I cannot access that channel no longer, and now I have created this coding book, actually recreated this channel and creating from scratch. You can see this just couple of videos I have posted. So I like seriously need your support, so that I can post more videos and provide more like inputs to you, and we both can continue this journey. So please do subscribe coding book, and that's all for this playlist. See you in the next part, see you in the next tutorial, AWS tutorial with coding book. Keep following me and keep subscribing the coding book. Thank you for your time, and have a nice day, guys. See you next.